come check it out. Hit the QR code. It's gonna be a night swim. Look at this view that we get every single morning. It is beautiful. Little bit of wind, probably about 5 miles an hour out of the north. It's not too bad. People are starting to hit the water now, and I can't wait to get this swim started. It's my last open water swim until Chattanooga, which is 8 days away. So let's hit it. All right, now we're out of the water. We're running up to the car, which is going to be transition. Let's get this set up and see how quick I can get out of this Viper. As long as the race is not wetsuit legal, we will be wearing the Viper. And it's supposed to be pretty easy to get out of. Alright, so got out of the Viper pretty easy. So let's go on to the next shot. And I tell folks all the time, if you're gonna be successful, you have to fuel. You have to fuel appropriately. You have to get all your meals, all your supplements. So let's go. Hello, good morning. Just one. I don't need it. I don't need a menu. Thanks. I think this is one of the best breakfasts I've had. Eggs, French toast, bacon, delicious. Way to go, First Watch. Okay, welcome to the video. This week's vlog. So, funny story. I deleted the video for this week a couple of days ago, going through my GoPro, and deleted everything. It's just easier to keep it more organized once you have the videos up. So the video was on technique and your technique. I know something else I was thinking of. Strategy, technique, and race strategy. So we're gonna focus on, I feel like, technique, and then we'll save the video in a couple of days for race strategy, because we're getting close to race a weekend. So let's just concentrate on race technique for all you new triathletes out there, age groupers, mostly, because pros have it all figured out, of course. Just kidding. They have the struggle just like us. Like, for instance, I was in Chattanooga last race, and Lionel Sanders was there, and I was like, hey, I got one question. He's like, anything, bud. Follow your channel. He said, very appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I was like, do you ever get nervous? And he kind of paused and chuckled and like, of course I get nervous. And it was like bike check-in. It was a Saturday. The race was on Sunday. And he's like, I'm nervous right now. And that just put me up to cloud 9. I'm like, he's nervous? I'm definitely not nervous now. So it definitely eased my emotions. So we'll start from the top and we'll work our way through. And my race technique for the swim is to always wetsuit legal or wet skin legal, okay? My technique would be to go in after the pros Then that way, as soon as that timer starts, you're not behind like 20 minutes and then you're thinking, oh, I started at 7, and then you're off by 20 minutes. You can gauge the race better if you try to start when the race starts, whatever that looks like. If it's a sprint, an Olympic, whatever. Try to go in as soon as you can when you start the swim. A lot of people don't know this, but instead of standing around barefoot, another technique that I use, because the race hasn't started, is I will have my shoes on and then I put them in my morning clothes bag, or just toss them in a trash can at the race start. Because typically, I know with Chattanooga for sure, you're gonna be on a metal structure, and that is definitely not great for the feet since you're gonna be on them for 10 hours. So moving on, another race strategy for the swim is to, race technique. I do apologize. Race technique. I get those two mixed up. So race technique for the swim is when you jump in the water, jump in feet first, and the race technique will be to just start picking off swim caps. So you find one swim cap, pick it off, find another swim cap, pick it off, and just keep it moving. And then try to stay as close to the buoy as you can, because they've marked the course out very good, and they're gonna make sure that you're in the best stream flow of a lake, river, ocean. They've marked it out. Don't deviate from their markers, because you can take a chance of going outside of where they want you to be, and we don't know how that's gonna go. We'll leave that open. And then my other race strategy for the water would be, race technique. I'm gonna do a lot of deleting for this. Race technique for the swim is, once you get out, you're going to grab that volunteer, and they're going to pull you in, and immediately start stripping your wetsuit or your swim skin, whatever it is you're using on that race. And then it's about 100 to 200 yards to the bridge scaffolding that they have, to the parking lot. Grab your bag. Technique for the transition one would be to make sure you mark your bag, know where it's at, check it the day before, your bike, shoes and helmet and glasses. Sunglasses will be in there. And then you're gonna go to your bike. Remember where you parked your bike. A good technique would be to mark it with a light, one of those mobile lights that they use, because it's dark when you start. A tree. I tie my sweater around it sometimes. There's different things that you can do that work. And then moving on, when you get on your bike shoes on, clickety clack, like a Clydesdale, right? Get to the bike mount line, make sure everything's intact, jump on your bike, say something nice to the volunteers, keep it moving. You'll start about 6 miles till you get to the loops. When you do the 2 loops, the aid stations are about 14 miles roughly. So you'll have about 2, and then you'll have the halfway point where you can get your goodie bag. And then if you can get your goodie bag quickly, get it. If not, just keep it moving. There's plenty of stuff on the course. You don't need your goodie bag. I know there might be a Red Bull in there, or just something a note from a loved one. Those techniques are nice on race day. They definitely help the heart and the mind. So do your second loop, coming into town. Unclip is a race technique that I use. I got 1 foot clipped in, 1 foot clicked out, because I'm coming in hot and I'm slowing down with my cleat. And then make sure you use this technique before you start the race. Make sure your cleats are tight. Take an Allen wrench, tighten them up. Doesn't cost you any extra time. It will cost you time on the day of the race though. So use that technique wisely. So now we're moving back into the transition. We got our bike to a bike catcher, and in the bike catcher is racking your bike, and you're moving on to get your run bag. You're gonna slip your helmet, your bike shoes in your run bag, and then you're gonna grab your run shoes and hopefully a new pair of socks on that one, and then you're going to keep it moving, and then you're gonna start the run course. You need about 1 to 2 minutes in and out of transition at the most. I know the swim's gonna be a little bit longer, depends on how quick you can run up and get your bike and get that going. But yeah, it is a race, folks. Do not hang out in transition, get it knocked out. That's the best advice for that technique and that technical area that we can do. Number 3 and last is the run part of it. So technique I use on that, my discipline for that is to start picking people off. There is a aid station every mile. There's 26 aid stations. There's Red Bull, Endurance, probably electrolytes. My technique I use on race day is I make sure what I trained with for my 12-week training block, I use it on race day. I do not deviate from that whatsoever. I will tell you, I tried a different gel, not gonna name any names, on my training, and I will not be using that on the race course or race day. It definitely sent me right to the restroom. So GI issues are bad, and they do take time to resolve. Well, so we're on our second lap. We're moving, we're watching our pace, we're watching our technique, we're using our training, our mind that we put in. Do not deviate from your training. That's going to get you from the start to the finish to an Ironman. So I hope all those techniques helped you out. And then, of course, the last technique I'll give you for the finish line is to make sure you have yourself presentable. Don't look like a hot mess. Straighten up your cap or however you feel. Sunglasses on or off, depending on if it's daytime or nighttime. Nighttime, probably want to take them off so you don't look like a weird person. Make sure your bib's in the front so they can see it for announcement purposes. Run bib, that is. And that's all the techniques I got. I believe that'll get you to the finish line very, very quickly and swiftly. So we got 1 or 2 more vlogs. We'll see how it goes to wrap up this race vlog series, My Triathlon Prep. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all the subscribers. I hope an age grouper gets this in time to see it so it can help him on his first Ironman, or her. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Stay safe.